All right, welcome back. So we do have this report on Peter Obi that we're going to cover real quick. Um, well, it's the new year, so we're trying to get back up to speed. So pardon us, real quick. We have this news on news report on what you call it on the Guardian. Okay, the headline says Peter Obi decries intimidation, insists on fighting for better Nigeria. So it looks like Peter Obi had been dragged a little bit. I'm going to read a little small part of the report for you, and then I just want to hear your thoughts on it. Hold on 1 second. Let me just make sure that we're doing well here. Okay, all right, good. Just wanted to make sure we have our illustrative picture on the picture. All right, good. So this report on the Guardian says former presidential candidate of the Labour Party Peter Obi has vowed to continue fighting for a better Nigeria, even if it means paying the supreme price. I wonder what the supreme price is. Hmm, hmm, hmm. That's a lot. Um, reflecting on the challenges of being in the opposition, Obi decried the intimidation, isolation, and sabotage he had faced, but reaffirmed his commitment to pushing for reforms that would uplift ordinary Nigerians. Responding to questions from newsmen after his New Year's address to the nation, he said, "It is extremely difficult to be in opposition in this country. Everything is against you. People don't want to see you or associate with you because they fear government backlash." And I quote, "My businesses and personal life have been attacked, but I've made my mind. If this is the end, so be it." Obi described the Nigerian political system as hostile to opposition voices with deliberate efforts to silence dissent. But despite the perceived challenges, he emphasized the need for courageous leadership, stressing that sacrifices must be made to secure a better future for the nation's children. It is difficult to be in opposition in this country. Now, I have that report, right? But if you recall, we also covered the very dark man lost money and all that kind of stuff. He came out eventually to say that it was a prank, but but then he
No,
tried to.
we actually, we made an attempt to hazard a guess on that, and we said it would be a very, anyway, his inconsistencies and his lack of ability to make the figures add up
Right.
actually was an indication of the fact that he may need his brains to be examined
hmm
concerning his claims. And the
Well,
fact that
here's
we're
the point.
able,
Here's the point, right? Let me
yeah,
make this
please,
quick
the fact
point.
that we're able to see through those inconsistencies
hmm
will tell you that this, the audience that we all dealing with by way of social media all over the world
hmm
is, alive and well by way of a logical and a critical
Right,
thinking.
right. And
Mhm.
contrary to his, because he came back to say it was a prank, and then he tried to rope that into addressing that we have to be careful with media, and media is going to destroy and blah 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 blah. Right. So I wanted to connect that together with Peter Obi's, also claiming here that there's massive dissent or him being on opposition in Nigeria. So I wanted to see if you can wrap that all together because, again,
Yes,
it's very easy to play the
um,
victim in Nigeria.
yes, Ola, Peter Obi did not, you have done a good job asking, putting that caveat or raising doubt or asking a critical question about what constitutes the ultimate price. Beyond that reasoning, you would also hear him saying it is difficult to be in opposition in Nigeria. Yes, it is not just difficult to be in opposition in Nigeria. If you are in opposition, how easy or how difficult it could be for you to be in opposition in Nigeria and to still survive, eke out a living. You had him elsewhere in that briefing saying that his businesses has been
Right.
under
And personal
enormous strain.
life. hmm
So I yield. You finish the point you want to make.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just trying to. Okay. So I don't think Peter Obi is playing the victim. Okay.
Mm. Yes.
But I think with the kind of work that he's taken up on himself, on naturally is going to come with opposition.
Yes.
You
See,
know, so
let me,
so I'm trying to find what's the balance here. Is he just
the
maybe
balance here is this. Let me tell you, and very good topic for us to discuss. Let me tell you, from the foundation of Nigeria as a modern nation state, evolving from several hitherto autonomous tribes and kingdoms and what have you, enclaves, since the white colonizers departed and handed over the baton of leadership to leaders amongst Nigerians. This mentality indeed crept in. I would illustrate. You know, I don't know how you can successfully practice journalism without delving into history. Sometimes the antecedents we did not just get to the point at which we are today. We're coming from somewhere. We are coming from somewhere. If you pick some of the write-ups of the late Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the then premier of Western region, who, in pursuit of what's it called, further political accomplishment, decided to contest into the federal parliament and ended up being the leader of opposition. You know, one thing he wrote and what he recalled by way of reminiscence, Obafemi Awolowo said that somebody stood up in the then federal house, in the House of Representatives, in the parliament in Lagos, and said, oh, some people are here, they are leaders of, they call themselves kind of leader of opposition, and they would oppose and oppose and oppose until they have nothing to oppose anymore. Are you following the point I'm making?
Yes,
Hello,
yes, I'm with you.
The point I'm making exactly is that for the substantive government, the government de facto, there must be a shadow government, that is the opposition leadership,
right,
that must be well funded and be a kind of constructive guide, offer alternatives to the government of the day. From the foundation of Nigeria, that in itself was stifled. You could imagine somebody standing up in the parliament, parodying Awolowo as a so-called leader of opposition that will oppose and oppose until he would have nothing to oppose. So, effective opposition, competitive democracy was stifled from the foundation of Nigeria. So much so that if you dared, even people who disagreed with Obafemi Awolowo in Western region and later in the successive 5 states of Lobo, Lagos, Ondo, Ogun, Bendel, and whichever other state, and today you have Delta and all of them coming from. If you dared as much as played in opposition to Obafemi Awolowo, you know what you will be described as Odale, and you will be described as Odale Baleku for daring to be in opposition, and some people paid the supreme price. So the supreme price that you are trying to dance around, to skirt around, is nothing other than death. Sometimes jungle justice. You have heard of Operation Wete, Wild Wild West. How people would be, set alight and be burned with tires and petrol, everything on them, their properties destroyed. That reluctance, that inability within us to tolerate opposition is ingrained right from the foundation of Nigeria. That is the point I'm making. And so I pity Mr. Peter Obi. He has said the obvious. If you dare sing a tune that is not in harmony with the government of the day, especially the type, Tinubu is coming from the school of Alliance Democracy, the Unity Party of Nigeria, Action Group, and all these people.
Mm.
It is either you are with them or you are against them. And I do not say this lightly for attention seeking. Thank God there is a national orientation agency that worked effectively during the time of MAMS, when it used to be known through its precursor, MAMSA. Babangida tried to educate Nigerians, to enlighten Nigerians to think as brothers, competitive, with healthy rivalry. But what we have with multi-party system, yes, I'm not too comfortable with Nigeria as a multi-party situation, but that is what the Constitution says. And if the Constitution says that, even today, what I see is a two strong political parties with ancillary proliferations of splinter political parties or associations that could be managed, and something that could galvanize a better future. It is good. Obi has raised this alarm. It is good that people are avoiding him at the airport, but worrisome. What it means is that opposition should be firm and effective, and they should not be divided. Of course, you remember that APC wouldn't have come into power until new PDP, a splinter group of people with disaffection from the then ruling PDP, teamed up with them with other political groups, CPC, and the then other political party being led by the man who is the president of Nigeria today. One thing anybody that is in power should think of is that tomorrow also comes. So if they find themselves on the opposition side, on the opposing side, would they love to be humiliated and dragged and disgraced the way they are treating people in opposition? Now, that you are in opposition does not mean that you cannot win federal government contract. It doesn't mean that you cannot win contract from the ruling party in any given state, local government. But in Nigeria, the mentality of winner takes all. And it's an excuse for trying to squeeze the nation hard towards corruption and fraud. You understand? A nation that doesn't see equal access, that does not consider equal access for all citizens, whether you voted for somebody or you did not, that cannot really be what it saw. Look at us in America here. We enjoy everything. It does not matter if Republicans are in government or Democrats. We know in that pursuit of happiness, in the preamble to our Constitution in America, we all are guaranteed that safety net, that we all must be protected as citizens with equal rights. But what is it like in Nigeria? Food for thought right there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And to think that the media must be viewed with circumspect. Yes, but who do we look out for within the media? It's people like Very Dark Man himself. People like Very Dark Man himself. How could he have now he would want to play smart? It's not April Fool.
He was trying to play smart, yeah.
Yeah, to want to pull the wool on everybody's eyes that way, it's not proper. It's irresponsible of him. Honestly, he's stretching his luck too far. Until he sees the other side of Nigerians, he may not know what he is toying with. Yeah. Honestly, he doesn't know what he's toying with. But I thank God. I thank God for people in well-established media, not institutional media or the media that is the exception of the ruling party in Nigeria, but everybody across board, journalists, serious-minded individuals could take the content of his productions apart, and then were able to point out that some of the claims there were incongruous. They were incongruous. They were in dissonance with common sense. So we knew very early that this guy may just be out to prank, and indeed he has zoned up. Yeah. We caught him.
I said he's not a stupid guy, but he's stupid enough to prank.
Well, honestly, Ola, if you cannot say it, I'm older than him. I'm old enough to be his father. He's not just capable of playing a stupid prank. He's also stupid. He's stupid.
Yeah.
For wasting our time that way.
Yeah,
Special thanks to
I
that
could
man.
have a baby in 1994 too. He was born in 1994. I could have asked.
Or you
So
could
of
even have
course,
been his father. You could have been his father if you were the filler during the high school time. You could have been
exactly.
his father. So I mean, little boy, let's just give him
He's
some.
gonna learn. He's gonna learn the hard way. We shall see. We did here.
Well, we are teaching him the hard way now. Kó gbà kó lórí. À ń fún ní ìkó
Uh,
lórí. So that kó lọ ṣọmọ dáadáa. You know,
mhm.
stupid boy, very dark boy, or very dark man, whatever. Yeah.
All right, all right. Join the conversation in the comment section, please. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Let's start off the new year with some fire. All right, join the conversation, but also help us hit the like button. We're 4 followers away from being able to go live on Facebook again, so please go and follow us on Facebook. We appreciate you for doing that. Without any further ado, we do have some other. Speaking of, let me see your position. We do have some other trendy stuff around the world. We'll be right back.